Hi everyone, welcome back to Sin City Crypto. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. On today's show, we're discussing a lot of things. Wow, included in some of those things.
Hold on. Breaking news. We are covering a lot of things today.
Thank you, David. Appreciate it. Thank you, David. Appreciate it. Thank you, David.
Anyways, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, we're discussing Ethereum ETFs. Is Gary Gensler finally coming around? Also, we have visuals of Robin working out at the gym. Also, we're going to discuss Worldcoin and big Hederas Hashgraph partnerships. What does that mean for Hederas? What does that mean for our space? With that being said, I'd like to introduce you to the rudest co-host in all of crypto, Robin.
Hola! Yes, your boy. Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take old, boring, stale information, package it up in a fun and sexy way. Also, there's echo. We good? There's echo. We good? Doubles? Doubles?
Yeah. Double, toil and trouble. Double, fire burn, and cauldron bubble. Fire burn, cauldron bubble. $2 for the echo. We appreciate it. Maybe we should keep the echo on. All right. While these guys fix the sound problem, we're working on it, guys. Okay. Let's start with the giggles. Okay. What better way to go through issues than check this out? So, Robin earlier this week showed. Yeah, I can hear myself. All right, I'm just going to stop talking for now because I can, yeah. While we wait, here's Michael Saylor on CNBC. Good? We're good. We're good. All right. So we should be good now. Let's go ahead and give a big shout out to channel sponsor, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. Today's 4K live stream is brought to you by them. If you own a business and you want to maximize your networking, your IT, your cybersecurity, there is no better company out there to guide you through all of those than Cam's Blue Wire Technology. Visit bluewiretech.com or simply click the link in the description of this video. Now, Robin earlier showed a lady who was pregnant, and she was doing this salsa dancing. And, well, if you guys remember and you watched our show, which I'm assuming a lot of you have, you noticed that the child was spinning in a, what is that, not the washer. Well, we have new footage of another pregnant lady, and, well, let's see what the baby is doing this time. Rocco, cue my laptop. Anyways, so we have that. Also, we have this. So I really have no context to this one. Just watch. He's like, psych. That's me, man. How you gonna trick the poor chicken like that?
But the chicken's doing, he's like, here's the thing. Birds are smart, man. Even chickens, I know. I got a bird. And let me tell you, he does.
Didn't you feed your bird chicken one time?
I feed my bird all kinds of stuff. I make lunch for myself and Larry at the same time. So, but he does the same thing as I do. If I like nod my head, he'll nod his head. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Now I did mention that we have footage of Rob working out at the gym, and well, Rocco, pull up my laptop.
That's supposed to be me? All right.
Tell me animals aren't the best, man. Animals are the best. Also, we have this. Speaking of the gym, where are you at the gym? Send me a picture. And, well, that doesn't look like a gym. But I guess life is what you make it, right? Jim McDonald's. Also, what else do I have? I think one more. So leave it to Vegas to capitalize on the newest trend. Topless entertainment out of the world. And so we are having alien strippers now. And so if you know any aliens that are looking to get into the adult entertainment industry, Vegas is hiring.
Are they dressing up like aliens?
No, they're actual aliens.
Oh, they're actual aliens. I got it. Okay, I got you. All right.
Come on, man. What is this? This is stupid.
That's creepy, dude.
That's creepy. Anyways,
people got weird fetishes, dude. You know, some people like to dress up as the other gender, or some people like to dress up as the other.
You've been towing the line a lot the last couple of days.
The other species, you know, so or extraterrestrial. So
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You know, Robin, I feel like you didn't get your intro here. You want to go ahead and give your intro, or are we past that point? We didn't get an hola from you.
You got hola. You got that earlier? Yeah.
I did?
Yeah, you got
okay.
That's right.
Okay. So with that being said, so I've been sitting on this for a little bit of time. And so you remember the multi-chain, how it got exploited, and they were trying to figure out who it was. What if I told you it was a government? Hear me out here, Rocco. Here's some wild on-chain investigation. Was looking into multi-chain exploiter address tonight and following the money trail. Where did it lead me to? To the $40 million bribe that Sam Bankman-Fried is accused of bribing the Chinese government with. To start, the tagged multi-chain exploiter address sent over 1,000 wrapped Bitcoin to a new address in the last 24 hours, which has been selling to Tether. That wallet address is then using a Gate.io account to launder the funds using deposit address 96345. This deposit address has a large flow of money coming in it from a number of very interesting addresses. The most interesting is 24F42, which had a humongous amount of USDT flow in to the original account. This address is extremely interesting because in November of 2021, it received a $40 million Tether transaction from FTX of all places. Weird transaction, right? Well, not when you remember that Sam Bankman-Fried is currently being accused of bribing the Chinese government exactly $40 million in and around 2021. And here is a CNBC article that states that. And so the indictment says accounts belonging to Bankman-Fried, Free Hedge Fund, Alameda Research were the target of freezing order from Chinese police in or around November 2021. So the rumor up to this point was that the multi-chain funds may be held by the Chinese government, and this seems to confirm it. The liquidation of the funds tonight also seemed to confirm they have no intention of returning it. Crazy situation. Crazy situation, I agree. I mean, when you have governments out there that are hacking DeFi chains and bridges, to me that's pretty crazy. Now I do want to show. We talked about Saylor yesterday. We didn't show the video, but he was on CNBC Squawk. I believe it was Squawk Box. And this is after they announced they had purchased another $14.4 million in Bitcoin in July, and then news came out that yesterday they're raising another $750 million in common A class stocks. They're gonna put more out there for people to buy, and they're gonna use. We don't know if it's all of the money, but we know it's probably a majority of the money to buy more Bitcoin. And well, let's just listen in on just a few minutes of what Michael Saylor had to say on CNBC yesterday.
Joining us now, MicroStrategy Executive Chairman Michael Saylor. Michael, great to have you on the show. Speak with you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So when it comes to MicroStrategy, you really have this dual strategy. It's both an operating company focused on business intelligence and what some analysts would call a modestly leveraged investment play on Bitcoin. Does the marriage continue to be worth more than the sum of the parts?
Yeah, absolutely. The operating company provides diversification for investors versus the volatility of Bitcoin, and it also allows us to borrow money very cheaply. Our blended cost of capital is like 1.5%, and we're able to invest that money into Bitcoin. And on the other hand, our Bitcoin investment Bitcoin itself is up 145% since we started buying Bitcoin, And that Bitcoin position creates the volatility in the stock that allows us to borrow and raise capital cheaply in order to buy more Bitcoin and grow the business.
Now, I know you retired one loan earlier, I guess.
So you see what he's doing here? He's leveraging Bitcoin to be able to borrow more money to buy Bitcoin. Dude's crazy. What do you think about that, Robin? I'm buying Bitcoin, so then when Bitcoin rises, the value of my company rises, and then I'm going to take the value of that company and I'm going to take out debt to buy more Bitcoin.
Why does this sound so crazy to you? This is exactly how every business this publicly traded works.
Dude's crazy.
Hey, can I borrow some money so that way I can get more money? And then when I get more money, I'll take the money that I have and I'll leverage it to borrow more money. It's just no different, except for now the vehicle that you're borrowing and buying from is Bitcoin. And so if you say, hey, let me borrow $1 million, you could turn around and then borrow off of that million. You know, you could have $1 million sitting in your treasury and then borrow off of that and then be like, hey, look how much money our company's worth. And just keep the endless cycle going. But the difference is the Bitcoin is not pegged to the dollar, or it doesn't follow the price of the dollar. You know, it's its own independent asset that trades with the dollar, and so the price is always fluctuating. So if you move your dollars into Bitcoin now and then it increases in value, then your company increases in value the same way, and then you have more leverage to borrow. So this is what I was talking about yesterday, man, is that as the man keeps borrowing more and more, or as he keeps accumulating more and more Bitcoin, his value of his company goes higher and higher. And the higher value of the company, the more money he can borrow. The more money he borrow, the more Bitcoin he can buy. And the more Bitcoin he can buy increases, and it's a closed loop. That's why yesterday's argument was like, hey, man, dude's got 150,000 Bitcoin now. Like, wait till the price doubles, triples, quadruples, goes up by a factor of 10. What happens when Bitcoin's $300,000 and his average buy is at 29? Most of his company's value is locked up in Bitcoin, and so his company value should at least increase by a factor, even if it's not a full factor of 10, by a factor of 7 or 8, right?
Yeah, but what happens when Bitcoin goes through another bear market?
He still owns the Bitcoin. And
that's the price.
But he's not gonna be forced to sell the Bitcoin because he just keeps borrowing on it, right? That was the whole thing. Remember when he was gonna get margin called on his big loan he had? I don't remember how much it was.
Silvergate.
Yeah, the Silvergate loan. He was in if it had dropped, I think it was to $8,000 or something. I think it was initially 12, and then he ended up borrowing and putting more money, lowering the liquidation point basically, or the margin call position. And so all you got to do is just borrow more money. Now, at the end of the day, you can only borrow so much. You know, if hypothetically the price of Bitcoin dropped down to $800, there's no amount of money you can borrow to keep it from getting margin called at that point. But if you have a realistic mindset, you're like, hey, as long as Bitcoin doesn't drop down to 8,000, 6,000, whatever it is, you're fine. You know, in a doom and gloom scenario, that could happen, but no, man. I think I
want to give a couple shout outs. First and foremost, the $2 super chat from Crypto Pitbull. Thank you. Also, my ninja hooked us up with a $4 super sticker. Also, Kadena Miner said watched us the other day. Loves the show. Is part of our community now. Welcome, my friend. We appreciate you. And also, Robin, you notice a name there? We haven't
my
seen
boy
in a while.
DFIT back.
DFIT, where you been, bro?
Where you been at?
Robin's been crying tears ever since you left.
right.
And well, now you're back. We're happy to have you, my friend. I know DFIT was going through some personal stuff, and so DFIT, we're happy to have you back. One of our
we got
OG members here.
Teresa W, Jacob Bird, and River up in here. And so to all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If you are new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. And we got less than a 50% like ratio. We're at 65 likes. So where y'all at? Why aren't y'all liking the show? We'll open up the club at 180 likes. Let's see if we can get there today. Didn't quite get there yesterday, but we were close. So.
Close yet so far away. Now, speaking of far away, we are far away from 40K for Bitcoin, but that doesn't matter if you're looking to hodl. And well, thanks to channel sponsor I Trust Capital, there is now a way for you to, well, there's always been a way, but a better way for you to hodl your Bitcoin, your XRP, your Ethereum, and not have to pay any capital gains or income tax when you enjoy those gains in retirement. Retire comfortably without paying anything to the IRS, and you do that by setting up a Roth IRA account with the leading crypto IRA company out there, and that is I Trust Capital. If you use the link in the description of this video, you will receive $100 when you fund your account. With that being said, hairy armpits, hello, and Robin, let's take a look at the markets.
All right. So we got Bitcoin coming in at that $29,171.
Is Bitcoin like a stable coin now or what?
It is pretty stable, man. And
we're going to get a big move, man.
We're going to get a while.
We're going to get a big move.
This is the 1 month chart. We are only in 1 month. We only have a movement of $1,000. That's crazy.
I mean,
you do zoom out to the 1 year here, and you can see that. You know, it's even now. I mean, a year ago we were at 22,000, 23,000, 24,000 here, and we're at 29,000. So maybe that narrative of Bitcoin is too volatile, it moves up and down. Maybe that is done.
No,
now,
it's not.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, not yet.
There's that all-time chart.
Yeah.
Look at that thing.
Yeah. Look, Bitcoin, and you know, I actually have some data from CoinGlass pulled up here, but we saw last month, in the month of July, Bitcoin was down 4%. And I know we're looking at February. We're like, well, it was pretty much even, but there was a lot more volatility in February than there was in July, right? And so we came off the back of a 12% green month in the month of June. So far this year, we have not had consecutive red months for Bitcoin, but historically, August has been a red month. What are your thoughts, Robin, on August? A couple things to keep in mind. We have the first decision or delay the SEC can make on August 13th for an ETF. I think we both agree they're not going to.
That's for the BlackRock one, right?
That is not for BlackRock. I believe that is for ARK or for someone else, but it's not for BlackRock. So I think we both agree that that's not going to be they're not going to prove it in 10 days, right? So looking historically, I'm not sure how much weight you put on historical returns by month for Bitcoin, but I can tell you this year, we have not had back-to-back negative months. So where do you see August going? Are there any other narratives that you're looking out for the price of Bitcoin? And what is your strategy, and has your strategy changed? You know, it's like 10 questions. But.
It is. I'm just looking at this chart here, and I'm just not seeing anything that lines up with this historical pattern, right? If you go from April, May, June, July, August, it's just not. The biggest one is a 10% swing in June. But other than that,
well, I mean, January we were up.
No, I'm talking about from April, May, June, July, August. So that 5 month window, I don't see any 5 month time frame that has any comparable lack of volume, right, or movement, price change.
I mean,
yeah, that's.
I mean, even if you just take a look down the years, you know, you have a 34%, 24%, 52%, 20% to the downside. And so we've had big months sandwiched in there. And it seems this year, like you mentioned, that the biggest month we've had was June.
It's just surprising to me. I'm just kind of taken away by just looking at the historical month-to-month price movement. And it's just so consolidated and trading sideways, right? I mean, that's essentially what it is over the last 5 months. And you know, you have a 6% drop, 11% rise, but I mean that's comparable like to the S&P 500, right? I think the S&P 500 probably had more volatility than Bitcoin has in the last 5 months. I mean, that's just kind of my assumption, but it's just surprising to me. So back to your question, do I think we're going to have a red or green month? I think that we're going to stay on par for what we just saw, right? I think we'll have something less than 10% in either direction this month. I don't think we're going to get any more than that. So will we see at 10% would be $32,000 Bitcoin or $27,000 Bitcoin, right?
Mm.
And so I think that is, we're going to be range bound. And I think that's what we get for the month. I don't think there's any big news outside of the BlackRock ETF that can dramatically affect anything. The XRP case is on the back burner now. You know, you have appeals and some other things, but essentially that's kind of out the window. And yeah, so I don't know.
It'll
I think less than 10%. Do you think we're going to get a more than 10%?
I kind of do.
Chat, what do you guys think? Will we get a 10% plus move for the month of August? Put a 1 in the chat if you think we'll get a 10% move in either direction. 10% spill off or 10% pump. Or do you think we're going to trade sideways? Put a 2 in the chat if you think we'll trade sideways. 1 if you think we'll have a big move this month. I don't know what you guys think.
I do think we're going to double-digit gains. I don't think we're going to move to the downside. I mean, you take a look at the Bitcoin chart, like, you know, we talk about that rubber band, that slingshot that you keep pulling back. That thing has been pulled back so far. It's only so much farther it can go. And I think the narrative continues to become more positive. We do have some macro stuff to show you guys here in a second. And, you know, it's a matter of the continuing narrative shift, the adoption. And I think eventually people, they're going to not have a choice, right? You look at a company like BlackRock. Larry Fink comes out and says Bitcoin just 3 years ago, money laundering. Now he mentions, hey, on our website, we had 600,000 hits for Bitcoin. And so these guys are understanding. And even we're going to show an article later with this whole Ethereum ETFs. These guys are coming around because they understand, okay, we cannot shut it down. Let's try to A, make money off of it by taxes, and B, let's try to have a say in the future of the space because they know it's not going anywhere. Let's take a look at what the rest of the crypto markets are doing via the crypto bubbles. And so Pulse Chain is up 17%.
Speaking of
Hex up 5.3% as well. What?
Big rebound there. I don't know where I was going there. I did want to give a shout out to Jenna X in the chat. So
Jenna,
what's up, girl?
What up? XDC up 12.4%. Some of the biggest losers, for the love of God, please just go away. FTT down 5.6%. Like, I'm just, come on, man. Just like, why is it even in the top 100? So yeah, now we have this, okay? So this is from Charlie Bellello. If you're macro or just in general, what a great account to follow. Charlie Bellello, so that's his Twitter handle. Recommend you guys go follow him. A lot of my macro stuff I pull from his Twitter feed. And this is a chart of the U.S. Treasury yields from 1990 to 2023. And on the right, it shows the 10-year to 3-month yield curve and the 10-year to 2-year yield curve. This is the one they kind of look at as far as, you know, forecasting a recession. And let's just take a look at how the last 2 years have played out, okay? So we have over 4% on everything prior to, or everything younger than 7 years, right? And we have more than this. So everything up, and even the 30-year bonds, the longest debt you can hold for the U.S. government, that is over 4%. And we can see over the last 2 years, the yield curve has been inverted on the 10 to 2-year. Well, let's take a look back at history. And what other time did this happen? Well, immediately I look at 2005, yield curve inverted. 2006, same thing. Everything went up. The 2-year, the 7-year, the 30-year, the 10-year, everything was over 4.5%. And the yield curve brought in, and well, what happened in end of 07 leading into 08? The great financial reset.
So what does this mean, David?
I'm just saying, man.
A lot of inverted and there's a lot of colors going on here.
So
what are you telling me, man?
So here's what you guys got to understand, okay? So and let me break it down to you in the simplest form I possibly can. Think about incentive to invest, okay? When people look, if I tell you invest 10K here, you can earn 6%, but there's risk. Invest 10K here, you can earn 5% and there's no risk. Which one are you going to pick? You're going to pick the one that has no risk and take 1% less. Well, that is the idea behind why it's bad when U.S. Treasury securities, which although you might not believe are risk-free, they are the only asset that you can label risk-free. And so as people are more enticed with 5%, 5.5% interest to hold the only risk-free asset out there, why would they put their money into risk-on assets like Bitcoin, like crypto, like stocks? And so that is why it's a negative correlation to the industry we're in and to traditional finance. It's because people are going to start moving their money away from stocks, the volatility of stocks. Yeah, can they earn another 2, 3%? Sure. But we know there's risk. With treasuries, essentially, there's no risk. Because if the US government falls, well, we have more problems than money in our stock market or money in treasuries. And so as money flows out of the stock market and into the treasuries market, which is what we're seeing, that is when you start getting crashes. That is when you start getting recessions. On top of that, borrowing is becoming more expensive. What are your thoughts, Robin? I know I said a lot there.
Yeah, man. Oh.
But difference 06, 07, 2023, different landscape in the tradition in retail real estate, right? People locked in super cheap interest rates. And so are people gonna, is the real estate market gonna fall? Probably not, but it's something to keep an eye on regardless, because we know Bitcoin is tied into the financial markets, which are considered risk on. And then just take a look at the Dow Jones, kind of what it did leading up to 2008. So this is 2006 to 2007. We saw a rise and then a complete fall off of over 40%. And we're seeing something a little similar now. Also, this tweet here, high net worth investors with more than $1 million have their highest allocation into cash. So are they expecting something in the broader markets, the traditional markets? I personally think this is going to be great for Bitcoin. People are going to look at this asset, hard money. Hey, what better asset to have our money in than Bitcoin having coming up? Any thoughts, Robin, on this before I move on?
No, man, I'm good.
No. Okay. Wow. Nothing to say. Interesting. Now, with this piece of news, X, social media, looking to build a trading hub inside the X/Twitter app. X, social media platform formerly known as Twitter, is seeking a financial data giant to build a trading hub inside the app. Semaphore reported on Thursday. The request plans were sent to big providers in recent weeks, asking for proposals for financial content, real-time stock data, and other features. You think crypto is going to be...
Dude, he's going to take over. He's going to take over the world, man. I am sorry, but...
Unless, Robin...
Elon Musk and X.com is going to take over the world. It's only a matter of time before he buys X videos. It is just out of the... This dude, he ain't slowing down, bro. And I was thinking today... right over David's head. I was thinking today that...
Yeah, sorry. What'd you say?
Yeah, you missed it. Anyways, that our country, or the world actually, is moving to the world is moving to a financial system that does not include the banks, or at least not in the traditional way. And so we can sit here and say like, oh, hey, blockchain is going to solve this. But it is evolving to a situation where you're getting away from the banks. And so the younger generations, people that are less than, say, 30 years old, they're not going to the bank and setting up a savings account, a checking account. And a lot of times when you get paid from work, you're getting that check deposited straight into some new fintech company. And so you got like the Chime and Uphold and all these cash apps, and there's credit card. Anyways, all of these companies, they're offering banking services without a brick and mortar bank. And what is that?
I think Ally is a great example.
Yeah,
Ally Bank.
But that's the thing. There's so many of them. You can roll out probably 30 different apps that you download that give you full banking services. That you get a card in the mail, you can direct deposit. There is no physical branch, and most of your daily transactions, when you need to send value or money, You just do it digitally right through the app, and you send it. Cash App being the best example, right? And so we're getting away from traditional banking services. And now you're getting into this competitive field that is both blockchain and also new fintech. And so with X, with social media, I mean, where is this new generation hanging out at, right? They're hanging out on their phones. They're hanging around on their apps. You know it's going to centralize into one app, right? It's going to. Every other market has done it.
Is that a good thing, though?
It's not. I'm not here to say if it's good or bad.
Well, I mean, I'd like your opinion on it.
I don't. Honestly, I'm just starting to realize, because I was so bullish on Bitcoin and crypto. I'm lying and payments and XRP. Like I'm bullish on that whole thesis, right? And so a part of me has ignored the fact that traditional finance is evolving, and it is evolving in a way that is also competing with crypto. And what we're seeing with the apps compared on the apps in traditional finance and the apps and dApps on blockchain is that they're vying for the same functionality: speed, efficiency, ease of use, no need to go into a bank branch. And
and honestly, once they do away with cash, what would be the reason to go into a bank branch?
I think there's always going to be a space for cash, in my opinion. I know you disagree, but I think there's always going to be a place for cash. I think that the CBDC narrative, I think, is far out. I think it will come. I just don't think it's within the next 10 years.
You don't think it's within the next 10 years?
Not here in the States, no. I think
hope you're right. I hope you're right.
And but I mean, so the thing is I'm just looking at it as, hey, fintech is moving fast, comparatively speaking, and I am scared because Elon Musk, everything that he's tried to tackle, he's been successful at, as dumb as it sounds. Hey, I'm gonna launch things into space. I'm gonna start a space company. Everybody laughed at him. I'm not.
You said you're scared. Why are you scared?
Because
you think one person's going to have too much power and control? One app? Things are going to be so...
Okay, let me ask you a question. If you worked at General Motors, let's say you built combustion engines. You worked at Ford. That was your entire livelihood. Let's just say in a parallel universe, let's just say you work in a crypto universe. Like you build crypto, you talk about crypto, you talk about crypto services. Now, let's go back to the other parallel universe. Now you're building combustion engines, and now comes a guy, Elon Musk, I'm gonna build an electric car. I'm gonna take over the world. In that profession, wouldn't you be kind of scared of it if you knew this man's track record and you knew how effective he was?
But
and so I look at it in that same regard.
But that's a dumb argument, and I'll tell you why.
And
because technology is constantly evolving. So are markets, and so are every market evolves, and so it's up to you whether to keep up with it or be left behind, right? We can't stop the advancement of humanity and technology because people are afraid they can't keep up. If that's the case, then go take some classes and learn how to build batteries or learn how to assemble electric cars.
When I say, I'm not saying that crypto is dead or
I can see you shivering right now.
No, what I'm saying is that this man moves very fast. And at the rate that he has moved in the past to disrupt markets, I don't see, I find it hard for crypto to move as quick on adoption, right? I mean, the dude took over space exploration. He's taken over the car industry. And I mean, he's taken over social media. I mean, how long will it be before he takes over finance?
But we know okay, would you say he's a crypto proponent or a blockchain proponent?
He's a bullish on Dogecoin, bro. I'm just saying, like, be careful what you wish for, man. That's all I'm saying is that if this man comes in, gets billions of users using the financial services on X/Twitter, it is going to take from crypto in the short term. It'll take from finance. The dude will blow up the whole damn financial market.
Isn't that why we're in this space, Robin?
Not to transact on Twitter. I did not start Sin City Crypto so that way we can transact on Twitter. Absolutely not.
Yeah, we're going to transact on. We're going to transact on X.
Well, we do not need.
We're not going to transact on Twitter. It's
exactly. But what I'm saying is that if billions of people are transacting and moving their finance and buying stocks and doing everything that they do on X, it is not good, bro. That is massive, massive, massive centralization, bro.
So you do agree that it's bad to have too much. The word I'm looking for is not coming to me, but consolidation of power and influence. Which is what Elon Musk has.
You need consolidation of power in certain regard. You need. Look,
it's still a free market, okay? It's still a free market. There's going to be competitors, and look at what's happening with Amazon right now, okay? Congress is literally they're having a hearing, and they're going to break Amazon up because they've gotten too big.
They're not going to break Amazon up.
That's what they're literally trying to do.
Yeah, they tried to do the same thing with Microsoft 10 years ago. That failed. They tried to do the same with multiple companies. They're not going to break up.
Amazon might not have a choice.
Amazon will not break up.
Amazon might not have a choice. Dude.
It's not. If you believe that BS narrative,
Amazon might not have a choice. Let's move on.
I understand. If Congress says you are a monopoly and that there is no competition, that you've taken the sole market under your wing, then at that point, Congress can, through their power, say you are a monopoly, we're going to break you up. But there is Shopify, Zappos, like the list goes on. You cannot say,
but they're controlling.
If you want to buy online products, you can only buy it on Amazon.
But Robin, their main thing is cloud storage and data. They're saying Amazon has too much power and influence over that.
If they break up but here's the thing: there are other service providers.
I'm just telling you what they're doing. I'm not giving my opinion. I'm just telling you what they're doing.
All it is Congress wasting time trying to.
And we know they don't like Elon. We know that. There's more people who dislike Elon than like Elon in Congress.
We talking about Amazon or
no? Well, I'm talking about Elon, right? I'm tying it back in. They're trying to break up Amazon, Congress.
They're
and then
not
you have
going to break up Amazon. This is not going to happen.
They're trying. I'm not saying they will.
Where are they trying?
Robin, do a quick Google search. You'll see it, okay? There's meetings and hearings that are trying to break Amazon up. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not giving my opinion. I'm not saying it should happen. I'm just telling you that is what's happening. I'm stating facts.
That's like saying.
And I'm saying if Elon Musk gets to the point where you say he's getting, he is far less liked than someone like Jeff Bezos. And so I don't think they're going to let that happen. Is it good? No, I agree with you. I don't think it's good. Too much consolidation of influence and power, especially in the financial sector. One person, one app, it puts the public.
Even if Elon Musk and his Twitter thing, like I said, ends up onboarding billions of users and using it, you're still going to, even with the concept of monopoly, if there are viable competitors, then you cannot deem it a monopoly. You can't just say, hey, everybody happens to like shopping here, so we're going to shut you down because you're the most popular. That's not how monopolies work. A monopoly is if you buy up all the competition, there is no other services, and you are forced to use one. And so even with Twitter or X blowing up, it cannot justify a monopoly because you can always go to a bank. You can always download Cash App. You can always transact in cash. And so that idea does not work. In the same way that idea does not work. Now you could be a congressman and you can be like, hey, I'm going to propose that we break up Amazon. But it's not going to happen. There is other options. If you want to shop online, you can go to eBay, you can go to Shopify. There is thousands, hundreds of thousands of online shopping retail. So they do not control 100% of the market or 99% of the market. You can't just break them up because they became a big company. And the same thing's gonna happen to Twitter. They are not gonna be broken up because there's no other financial options, period. There's always gonna be other financial options. And so they're gonna grow. I'm a little scared of how fast they're gonna grow. That's my only concern, is that I'm looking at the speed of which Elon Musk has grown all of his companies. And I think that if he launches market trading services, if he launches a payment service, I'm just thinking that, hey, dude, it's probably going to take this dude 2-3 years. By the time we kick off the next bull market, maybe everybody's trading on Twitter and we get a subdued bull market.
FTC readies lawsuit that could break up Amazon. Okay. Federal Trade Commission is finalizing his long-awaited antitrust lawsuit against Amazon.
I never said it was fake news. I'm just saying that it's not going to.
You're saying it's not going to happen. I'm saying it's happening. The complaint is likely to focus on challenges to Amazon Prime, Amazon rules that the FTC says block lower prices on competing websites. So I'm just saying this is what they're trying to do. I agree.
And the thing is if they have historically tried to do this over and over again, and they've not. They haven't broke up a monopoly since one of the big banks in like the early 2000s, and so it's just not going to. It's not going to happen, dude.
We'll see. Time will tell, but we need to move on. Okay, we need to move on to Ethereum and futures, and well, as the SEC finally coming around, this is from Blockworks, SEC now ready to consider ETH futures ETFs, sources say. But what's changed? Well, let's dive into potentially what's changed. Fund groups are pursuing an ETF that could hold Ether futures contracts after efforts to do so earlier this year came to a halt. The SEC has indicated its readiness to publicly consider such a product. This is a quote from Henry Jim, who is a Bloomberg intelligence analyst. From a product perspective, all the ETF issuers are probably thinking it's worth the cost of filing rather than risk falling behind in case ETH ETFs take off, even in the futures forms. You know, Robin mentions this all the time on the show, more pertaining to Bitcoin, that there's going to be an arms race, right? No one wants to be left behind. Exhibit B, right here. People are rushing to file an ETF just in case the SEC is ready because they don't want to fall behind. SEC policy on crypto ETFs has been haphazard, said Matthew Siegel, head of digital asset research at Van Eck. Now it's completely incoherent. Bradley Duke, who's a chief strategy officer at ETC Group, said in a statement that there seems to be a growing acceptance at the SEC that crypto is, quote, an inevitable part of America's investment landscape. Bloomberg intelligence analyst James Seyfert, who will be joining us tomorrow, by the way, to break these Ethereum ETFs down in more detail, and Eric Balkunas put the odds of a spot Bitcoin ETF at 65%. And now we have news of the ETH ETF. And just to share the tweet, what happened? No, it says not your fault.
You're broken, eh?
The broke.
Each time.
So just to share a tweet from James, Direxion joins the race with a dual Bitcoin and ETF futures filing. And here we have 7 of them. And look when they were all filed, right? August 1st, July 29th. Bitwise, which is the one that got the 2x leverage Bitcoin ETF passed. Van Eck, Roundhill, ProShares, Grayscale. And so now everyone off to the races on Ethereum futures ETFs. Now you might be wondering, well, doesn't GBTC, that is a trust. This is an actual ETF, right? Futures ETF. Rob, what are your thoughts on this? Is it a foregone conclusion that because Bitcoin had the futures ETF approved, we're going to get it? ETH is going to be, or do you still think the SEC looks at ETH as a security and something that doesn't have as much clarity as Bitcoin?
I don't know, man. I'm on both sides of the fence here because on one hand, Gary Gensler will not clarify if it's a commodity. Now, he still hasn't uttered the words himself on Bitcoin, but he has yielded to that. He has said that the SEC and his previous colleagues have deemed Bitcoin a commodity, but he has yet to stand up, get in front of a microphone and say, Bitcoin is a commodity. And now he hasn't done the same with Ethereum either. And so part of me says like, man, I don't know if this dude's going to let it fly. And so they said they have readiness to pass it.
They're becoming more receptive.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, readiness. They're preparing for.
And guys, these are comments not from people in our space, people in traditional finance.
From the SEC. The SEC said they were preparing, or whatever it was.
There seems to be a growing acceptance.
Now, what part of the SEC is that coming from? This is all a speculation, but
remember, there's
a lot of people.
4 commissioners, 1 chairman.
Exactly,
and they all get a say.
So maybe one of them is a little bit more receptive. Maybe one of them was like, "Hey, man, yeah, we're thinking about it." But boss man here is a hater, so it's not. Calm down. But we're looking into it. So, do you think it would pass?
I think so.
Any of those?
I think so. I really do. You know, futures. But then again, but here's the thing.
My thing is that ever since it came to proof of stake, man, it's
Rob, here's my thing. I think the SEC is going to wait to see what happens with Grayscale. Because if they go ahead and pass a futures ETH ETF, and then Grayscale on the other end wins their lawsuit, then that would mean essentially that people can file for an ETH spot ETF, and they would have to essentially approve it. Exhibit A, look at what happened in Grayscale.
so they would have to approve an ETH spot ETF.
Okay.
How so?
So Grayscale is suing the SEC.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
So I think the SEC is going to wait to see what happens from that lawsuit before
Yeah, I know, but
approving a futures
why
ETF.
would they have to launch an ETH spot Bitcoin spot ETF?
If the judge rules that if your issues are price manipulation, which has been the issue that Gary Gensler has stated on Bitcoin ETF, price manipulation and data aggregation, right? And the surveillance sharing. Those are their main sticking points. And if Grayscale wins by saying, well, it's the same thing on futures, what is it any different on the spot? Those same rules and that same narrative can apply on the
but
Ethereum
those
side.
rules are applied to what is widely considered a commodity. And there's more, so they're not in question, they're not questioning, is it a security with Bitcoin? And so with the spot Bitcoin ETF, they're not even arguing that. They're not saying that, hey, there's a common enterprise that runs Bitcoin. That's not even an argument. And they know that Bitcoin doesn't have a common enterprise, right? But now I do not share, at least I don't think that the SEC is looking at Ethereum that way. And so just because Grayscale wins a lawsuit and they say, hey, you know, price manipulation or everything you listed, that doesn't translate over to Ethereum from top to bottom because there's more to Ethereum passing a spot ETH ETF because it would more or less need to be a commodity, right? It needs to check all those boxes. And what I'm saying is that Gary Gensler has and even the SEC seems to have flipped that on its head. And I think a lot of that has changed since they went over to proof of stake. And you can sit here and say, hey, there is a common enterprise. They are actively changing the protocol. There are a handful of whales, particularly exchanges, that are making decisions like a board team, like a board member. I'm just saying that what applies to Bitcoin's ETF does not apply to Ethereum. And I don't even think we're not even close to that, regardless of what happens with Grayscale.
I definitely think it is going to take some time. And so just to kind of give you guys perspective here, and again, we're going to have James from Bloomberg on the show tomorrow to break this down in a little more detail. But here's the first date. So we're looking at mid-October, right? Mid-October, we'll see what happens, what the SEC decides to do. My inclination is they're going to delay until there's more clarity on the Grayscale side. But, at this point, we're all just speculating. All right, let's move on to Hedera Hashgraph. If you are a H-Barbarian or you are a fan of Hedera Hashgraph and you're a member of this channel, go ahead and drop your Hedera emoji in the chat. We have a big partnership news from Hedera. So Kia and Hyundai tune up with Hedera for AI carbon emission tracking. Does this car look familiar, Robin?
No.
I know. Kia and Hyundai, two of the largest car manufacturers in the world, turned to Hedera's blockchain to implement the supplier CO2 emission monitoring system, also known as SCEMS. And I do have a little video here from Hedera, and this one doesn't need audio, but kind of visually explaining what this partnership is and what it's going to do. And so, Hyundai Motor Group announces an innovative carbon emission monitoring system and selects Hedera to assure secure and accurate data collection on these carbon emissions by integrating AI combined with high-performance blockchain, which would be the Hashgraph consensus. The system is enabled to accurately predict future emissions in real time. So we know the narrative is still big on climate change and CO2 emissions. And so we know carbon credits are a big thing. And now, and you know, I have talked about this on the show a lot. And you know, there was one show, I forget where it was, but we showed all the different companies and how they're implementing blockchain, right? And the one that kept coming up was supply chain, okay? Data tracking, supply chain. And this kind of falls right in line with that. Going back to highlight some other parts of the article here, guys. So implementing real-time carbon emission tracking via Hedera Hashgraph makes sense for car manufacturers who can also collect and process data faster on this unconventional blockchain, referring to the Hashgraph consensus versus everything else that's out there. With the SCEM system seeing the light of day, it's obvious that Hedera is becoming a top choice for commercial and industrial entities. And this article does also mention Polygon Matic as well. And I do just want to show Hedera and the massive amount of large companies they have on their governing council. I mean, you have the likes of Boeing, Ubisoft, Dell, LG, IBM, Google, Deutsche Telekom. Rob, what are your thoughts on this partnership? And does this make you more bullish on Hedera? You know, Algorand was always in the mix. Polygon continues to be in the mix. VeChain was in the mix when talking about supply chain and enterprises. Is Hedera now in the lead of all those when it comes to these massive partnerships with traditional companies and moving their businesses onto the blockchain?
I don't think that puts them in the lead, but I get, you know, one more company. I mean, how much? I mean, how big is it to track tailpipe data, man? You know, I feel like the computer chips on those cars already store that information. I feel like you're just uploading it to a server that is tied into blockchain. It's good. I'm just saying that I don't think it's like some like giant like news. I think it's good. I think it opens the door into the automotive industry. I think that there are a lot of data points that could be used and shared. A lot of GPS information that could be used in real time that you don't want to give away. Like, hey, where am I driving today? I don't need somebody actively following me around. So if you can conceal or, you know, or not use data that is compromising your own personal whereabouts, and you can use that data to help upgrade the traffic grid, for example, help map services. I think that there's a lot of potential in the automotive industry. How bullish am I on tracking carbon emissions? Not so much, but I think the partnership kind of opens the door, and I think there's a lot of possibility there. Yeah. Well, I'll leave it at that.
To me, it's intriguing that they specifically mention the technology, right?
Yeah.
Blockchain, Hashgraph. We decided to go with them because of the Hashgraph. And well, Hedera, first it was patent protected, now it's not. But when I say Hashgraph, what other project comes to mind besides Hedera? And so if this is successful, is this going to become a trend? The governing council, I mean, you know, Hedera, bullish. Not bullish, I am on, talking like Yoda here. Bullish I am not on is Worldcoin, as they are being targeted by global governments. So Worldcoin suspended by Kenya on financial security and privacy concerns. This is sourced from CoinDesk. Speaking of desks, I was kind of happy when Jimmy was here. You know, I hung out with him for one day, and then I went on my vacation, and he was still here for 2 days, and I came back. My desk was still intact, so I'm very shocked that that's...
Yeah, we had to stop him. We were
had to
about
stop him. Wow,
yeah,
okay,
I called to guard.
Sure. Except he violated my desk here. Please, stop showing that stupid video. That's dumb. Worldcoin... Oh, God.
Guys, we need some likes. Please, do your part. You know, hit the like.
Thanks, Rocco.
That's the one? Okay.
Worldcoin suspended by Kenya on financial security and privacy concerns. Let me read some context here in this article. Kenya's Ministry of Interior suspended the operations of Worldcoin, which is the identity crypto protocol co-founded by OpenAI's Sam Altman, as the country's financial security and data protection services investigate the legitimacy and data protection of the project. Said minister, that name, The government is concerned by the ongoing activities of an organization calling itself Worldcoin, which is involved in the registration of citizens through the collection of eyeball iris data. Worldcoin is attempting to create a global identification mechanism based on iris scans. There are accusations of exploitation. They're saying Worldcoin is exploiting people. Kenya, however, is the first country to go further than just saying we're going to look into them by actually suspending the company's operations completely while local agencies investigate. And what do they mean? Well, we have from the UK, this was late last week, Worldcoin falls under scrutiny of UK data watchdog. And then we have this as well. France and Germany question Worldcoin's data collection practices. You know, the government's pretty much saying if there's anyone that's going to collect information and data on our citizens, it's us. It's not you. And we're not going to let you pay him $50 to do so. We've never been a fan of Worldcoin. Yeah, we need digital identities. Is Worldcoin it? I don't think so. But people are lining up. You give someone a free taco or $50 apparently, they'll line up down the street. And yeah. And so I want to ask my friend Robin here. France, Germany, UK have said, hold on, slow your roll. Kenya has flat out said, shut it down. They're saying this company is exploiting people's data. What are your thoughts?
But they've also said that they are willing to give governments their data if requested, right? Or to work with governments.
Have they?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That was an article I read yesterday. So maybe that's their ploy. Maybe they know that they're going to get banned or whatever it is. And like, hey guys, we can help you with this whole eyeball identification thing. And it's just very intrusive, right? Even ChatGPT, which is another company run by them as well. Even that is kind of intrusive, right? It's kind of a little. It makes you feel a little uneasy, right?
Does it? I feel like
if you're a nation state,
I feel like I finally have a friend.
If you're a nation state, I mean, we've seen that Congress has been asking a lot of questions about AI. That was a hot topic. There's no parameters on this technology, right?
Can we replace our Congress with AI?
That's a terrible idea.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
It's the chat. What do you think in the chat?
What do you think about Congress, AI Congress? I'm not trying to be run by robots.
No. I'm talking about that.
Next thing you know, you're electing like, all right, so today's presidential candidate, instead of Republican and Democrat, it's iOS and Windows. Like Windows representative here. Which Windows candidate are you going with? Windows 11, Windows 10, iOS, Safari. Like get out of here, man. I'm telling you, I don't want to vote for no damn robots, bro.
Yeah,
it scares me. We need a person with emotions that can make decisions. That can mess stuff up and print stuff.
Yeah. For me, it's intriguing to see governments push back. Like I said before, I do think we need digital identity, especially with AI and how smart it's becoming. You hear stories of people getting phone calls from what they think is literally their mom or dad or sister or brother. And it sounds like them. It holds a human-like conversation. And people are getting scammed. People are getting ruined. There's deep fakes of people. You want to ruin someone's career or someone's integrity online, and you can now by putting out fake videos and look what this guy said, bam, canceled before you know. And so I definitely think digital identity and they call it proof of personhood, proof of humanity, it is needed, but I don't think Worldcoin is it. And I'm pretty sure Rob agrees with me on that one, unless you got something else to add, Robin.
No, and the thing is I like the idea of digital identification. I'm not a fan of launching a new token and then scanning people's eyeball with a weird orb. It just doesn't sit right with me. I think that if you're going to do digital identification, then use a smart contract platform, and don't make it, because when you have a token that you're issuing, it ends up being for financial purposes, right? And I feel like if you're going to do digital identification, you're doing it more to give people IDs that couldn't necessarily have some, right? And 2 billion people on this planet, roughly a quarter of the people that are alive don't have banking services. And so the last thing I think we need is to offer banking services at a cost. Hey, buy our token. You want to use these banking services? Grab these tokens. You're going to need it for transaction fees.
Or stake the token for 15 years.
Yeah, it's just I feel like humanity is better than that, right? Yeah. And I think that these services can be built for people without that financial incentive, and the financial gain will come later. You know, if everybody's using your product, even if you're not charging them, you're gonna make money off of it anyways. You don't need to come up with a scam token with it. My personal opinion.
Speaking of personal opinions, it is my personal opinion that if you run a business and you want to maximize your networking, you should hit up Cam's Blue Wire Tech, channel sponsor. Big shout out to them. Visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. We do have our website fully functional, guys. Go check it out. SinCityCrypto.io. And well, let me pull it up for you. Rocco said yesterday I should have pulled it up. He's absolutely right. So big thank you to Jimmy, who really helped us out. We're having some issues with our domain. So big thank you to him. So this is our website, guys, SinCityCrypto.io. You'll find a little about us page, how to get in contact with us. Also, our affiliate links. And so we'll be adding more to this. We're going to tie in a merch store. And so it's a work in progress, but it's available on there. Go check it out. Let us know what you think. Also, if you want to support the channel, there's plenty of ways to do so. Just check all the links in the description of this video. And with that being said, Rocco. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you joining us. Come back tomorrow. Is going to be an absolute banger. We love you all. Until tomorrow, on behalf of Salvation Sin City Crypto, we love you. Peace.
Sin City Crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Named according to your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado